Well, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, wherever you're at. I want to thank you for tuning in to the Cali Truck Stop Theater. Um, this episode is going to be another Dollar General Chronicles. Um, and so I'm doing this because I wanted to. Well, it is a it's a combination of a Dollar General uh, account that I'm thinking about, but also, but mainly, um, it's about a particular subject, um, which is serving. Just serving and blessings. Okay, so anyways, I'm currently right now shut down for the day. I, I still have some time on my clock to drive if I needed to, but the thing is that I'm not driving, to really get anywhere because I'm already at my destination. It's that I'm actually on my second stop on my trip out here in Kirksville, Missouri. So I'm shut down here at my second stop, and I'm gonna just I'm gonna unload the product that I got here at the store in the morning. But so I'm pretty much done for the night, and got a little bit of sunlight here before the sun goes down. I figure I would get on here and just say a few words. So anyways, um, so about this Dollar General account, you know, I have some. I mean, I don't really mind this account, but there are some things that I've experienced so far that are kind of frustrating, or things that I'd rather not deal with. But you know, sometimes you got to deal with them, with the things. But there are some good things. There are some good things that I do notice, which I have another story of random acts of goodness. And if you've watched the previous videos here recently, whenever I use the random acts of kindness, it's just been because I'm recognizing the people that well, it's not just that I'm only focusing on things that people do for me. I mean, if I see something that other people are doing for other people, I will say something about that too. But as of right now, I can't think of anything that I've seen somebody else do for somebody else. This and I'll this is all going to tie in pretty much. So I had another random act of kindness today. A couple of them actually, but yeah. So it's all gonna tie in. So just sit back and let me unpack it for you, and I'm gonna try to do it before the sun goes down and I lose any more remaining light. So um, I guess it start off with like blessings and praising. I'm learning how to deal with things. I'm trying to learn different principalities, and I'm trying to learn how to purposely be able to um, understand a principle and learn how to use it with a purpose instead of accidentally stumbling across it. And one thing is that um, that I'm trying to put into practice is the um, just acknowledging blessings wherever they're at. Praising, um, you know, praising other people, praising God for goodness and stuff like that. So um, I had everything laid out in my head about how I wanted to do this, but for some reason I seem to be kind of on the brain fart here. But anyways, so as far as praising and blessing, um, I think I've even said this on one of my other videos too. Is that well, if I did, why not I just start with that? Just cover the bases again. There was in one of my other videos I did talk about how there were certain people um, or certain examples in the Bible where people were taught where um, you have people that were praising not only others but also God for for goodness, the goodness that was that came about or was witnessed to. But more specifically, I was talking about how there were certain examples in the Bible where there were certain people that had either died or had misfortunes or whatever because they did not give praise or give acknowledgement to where to where it was due, mainly to God, and they were dealt with accordingly. And where these examples I'm about to share are not, they're not cut in stone. This is what will happen to people nowadays, but these are just examples of what has happened to people over the course of history. And it doesn't mean that if you don't if you don't you know give the praise that is due and stuff like that, it doesn't mean that this is a definite thing that was going to happen. Okay. So the example that I had used was there was a couple of people. One is well, actually there was a couple, there was quite a few of them, but the two that come to mind are Pharaoh, uh, talked about in the story of Moses, Pharaoh, and then also um, King Herod in the spoken about in the New Testament time, around the time of Jesus. So uh, the thing with these people is that they had uh, they didn't acknowledge, or they didn't show gratitude or praise to where it was due, and their ultimate, or their end came to be death. Okay. And now, like I said, not all the time is it going to be that somebody's going to die for not doing this or whatever. But um, there is some significant evidence that you're not going to succeed as well in certain areas of life, because you don't give praise. Praise where it's due. And so with these two gentlemen, because they didn't acknowledge God, and they didn't give praise where praise or do praise and honor, these individuals met their end with death, um, before at a premature time. As we know, Pharaoh Pharaoh was drowned in the Red Sea, and King Herod, the way that he came about dying was that he when people were praising him for the words that he was speaking, he took that as because they were saying that he was speaking like a god. He took that and kept it for himself, and he didn't transfer that praise to where it was due, which in that situation it was God. And so what ended up happening was that he ended up um, he ended up getting worms in his body, and the worms killed him. So he got very sick because the worms infested his body, and they pretty much essentially ate him up from the inside, and he died. Um, and like I said, I forgot uh, some of the examples of where praise was due, and actually it was, well, I mean, you know, I mean, we can use the example of, you have life. There's examples in the Bible where people had given praise where praise is due and stuff like that. And don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to be all preachy and stuff like that. This is just where I'm trying to I'm just trying to set up an example. Just understand the principles of what of where I'm trying to go with this. So there's plenty of examples of where there was some praise going on. Oop, come on, there we go. I'm just trying to get set up here, get some light going. So dang, come on. There we go. Hold on. I'm getting preoccupied here. There we go. There we go. How about that? Get my little studio lights up and running because it's starting to get a little dark out there. Anyways, so how's that? How's that for lighting? So that's looking pretty good right now. Okay. Anyways, so there's other examples where people were rewarded with riches and stuff like that because they gave Abraham's a good example. He gave praise and admiration to where it was due, and he was blessed with wealth. So that's an example there. Okay. So anyways, how does this tie into this random acts of kindness and stuff like that? Well, I wanted to share my experiences as an example of where praise, praising where praise is due. Okay. Now, and also it's going to tie into serving. Okay. So I've been on the Dollar General account for a few weeks now. Okay, and I've been, like I said, there's some things that I wish, or that I would rather not have to deal with, but I do deal with them just because I'm on this account. So, so I'm only on this account, and on occasion, I've had random acts of kindness where I have been, I've been given things, because of the kind of service that I give, and also the appreciation that people have for truck drivers delivering goods. So I just want to show you how this here grows. Okay, so if you've looked at some of my other videos, you would notice that, well, in this particular situation, there has been things have been accumulating for me since being on here. Now we all know that this coronavirus and stuff like that is just wreaking havoc on the world, but as far as for my country, America, is really wreaking havoc on our country, and a lot of you know that people are going crazy over toilet paper and hand sanitizer. Well, so in the way of hand sanitizer, I have gained favor, not only with God but also with people, and that's a good place to be. Not only with God but also with the people as well. So just look at this. So if you looked at my other videos, I made mention of the Dollar General distribution center where Warner is out of for this account. They gave a like a first aid type of kit to the drivers, and it included hand sanitizer, right? And I made a comment on it that I was like, you know what? I'm grateful that that Warner, went all out to do stuff like this. But even though I was like, I was saying that, I thought that this was just not gonna cut. Just was not gonna cut it as far as like being any kind of help. But I was acknowledging that Warner uh, Warner did go ahead and do something. And let's see. Okay. And sometimes and if anybody's watching this video that is on my Facebook page, I even mentioned about this in one of my posts that um, you know some of these well actually okay, so I got this, and I was saying that, well, even though I acknowledged that Warner was actually giving stuff away to drivers to show that they're appreciative of the work that we do. I was like, even though that this is not going to really do anything for us, I did acknowledge that, hey, at least you did something. You did something. So I mean, you gave something. And I was like, hey, I thank you. But I was like, hey, maybe there could have been some other things that would have been a little bit more beneficial than just this little packet. But the big thing is that I did acknowledge that Warner did a good thing, okay, by doing something for their drivers. And going back to my Facebook post, I was saying that I was speaking in terms of what in terms of a good provider. And as far as a good provider is that I'm just saying that just being a provider doesn't mean that you're going to be able to um, doesn't mean that you're going to be able to solve every problem. Doesn't mean that you're going to fulfill every need that is needed. But being a good provider is someone who is going to who's going to be able to give their all, and they're gonna constantly try to figure out solutions to try and meet the need that is at hand. But not all the time is a provider going to be able to cover every need. Depending on the situation, the situation of the provider, stuff like that. But the thing is that at least that provider has done something. They acted out in some form or fashion to try and um, solve or meet a need. So that's what I was saying in my Facebook post, and this is essentially the same thing. Even though this might not be what is needed, at least something was done to show, hey, I did something for you. I'm trying to do something for you. So now, depending on your view of things, some people might look at it as negative, as like, this ain't nothing. This is just a slap in the face. Da 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 da. Don't That's not the way to do people like that. So so I gave honor and praise. I gave honor and praise to where it was due. Now, the principle that I'm going after here is that if you give honor and praise, you open the door up for more blessings. You open the door up um, for more opportunity to be a blessing and also get blessed. Okay, so I got that, and I mentioned that. I said, hey, I appreciate it. And so what had happened was, later on, when I went to one of the stores, I I was doing a job there, and let's see if I can angle this down some. Anyways, so I was doing a job there, and um, one of the stores gave me like a little package, full of stuff, just some little items in it, just to say thank you and stuff like that. And what they ended up doing was giving me hand sanitizer. So look at that. This is the blessing of Abraham. Okay, this is what I'm associating it with, the blessing of Abraham. When Abraham blessed Melchizedek with a tithe of his spoil that he got from war, he was also blessed more in His will. So look at this. I went from this to this. Now at the same time, now I made another video and I was explaining how how I appreciated this store that gave me a basket full of goodies and stuff like that, and gave me this hand sanitizer. Okay, so I did that. Not too long after that, because I gave due accolades to whom it was due to. So when I did that, not too long after that, I got hit. Ooh, dang it! I dropped it. All right. I was given a larger hand sanitizer. Look at that. But not only that, I was given 2 of these. So I'm starting to rack up on hand sanitizer, because I haven't been able to get hand sanitizer because all of y'all have been, clearing the stores out with the hand sanitizer. But you know what? I've been keeping myself faithful and stuff like that, and I've been finding other ways to keep myself clean. But now I have hand sanitizer. So I think I made another video about this, where I got this hand sanitizer, and so I just been like letting people know that, hey, these this is a blessing to me, and I thank these people, and when I'm getting this stuff, I thank them. I was like, I really do appreciate it. And then I go and I tell my community, I'm like, look, this is what has happened. Um, it's like, I do appreciate, when people come up and say, hey, thank you for what you do and things like that. Well, so now, earlier today, I go pick up some of the rotators and stuff like that, from one of the stores to alleviate out of their out of their parking lot. And the lady at that store, she gave me some hand sanitizer in appreciation for for giving such good service, and she gave me one of these. So let's take a look at this. So I went and so like I said, I've been praising or given proper diligence to those, or to the things that need it. So look at this. I went from this to this big old bottle of hand sanitizer. I mean, look at that. Bam. So now I got hand sanitizer that's going to last me for, I'm not too crazy about this one here, because it's got this kind of it's like a super strong girly smell, but nonetheless, if I ever get in a pinch and I need it, that'll be my go-to. But like I said, I got 2 of these. So and then I got the big boy here. So I'm good with the hand sanitizer for a little while. So but I mean, if more hand sanitizer decides to make it my way, I'm not gonna knock it, because never know, I may need it, or I may need to, it may be something that I would end up giving to somebody else. It just may be that I may be able to bless somebody with some hand sanitizer. So if I I don't mind getting more hand sanitizer. But the point that I'm making here is that God knows what it is that you need, but you do want to put it out there. I've prayed and stuff like that. That these are the things that I need. If I don't get them, then I know that that I'm going to be okay, and that God will ensure my safety and my health in other ways. And so that has that has transpired, and but now you may be wondering, well, where's this service coming in? Well, the service is coming into just just doing your work, doing what you are supposed to be doing, and doing it gladfully and cheerfully, And so this plays a big part in the reason why I got all this hand sanitizer, okay? Because every time that I go to a place, every time I go to a place, I go to a place and I come in with this attitude and this this energy of pleasantness and peace and stuff like that. And the thing is that I'm greeting people when I come in, and I'm showing that I do want to work, and so this is I'm providing a service, okay. I'm providing a service. I'm being a servant to the the stores. I'm supplying their stores, so I'm serving these stores. And when you are doing something that is well, what's the word that I'm thinking of here? If you're doing your job diligently and you're doing it wholeheartedly and all that kind of stuff, there people do take notice of that. And if people don't take notice of it, definitely God will take notice of it. And so anyways, I've gotten the stuff because of my pleasant my pleasant personality. And I try to work with with the people in the way that they in the way that they would want to have things done. So like when I'm unloading, I'm just I'll ask how do you want these items stocked up in your store, all that kind of stuff. Just doing what's in my job detail, that alone can get attention. And so there's been people that just says you're just one of the nicest truck drivers that we've had and stuff like this. Matter of fact, the last store that I had that I just delivered to, that's what she was saying is like you're the nicest truck driver that we've had. I kind of chuckled like you yeah, you're probably saying it a little bit too early. I might end up saying or doing something that you don't like, but not that I'm trying to do that, but there's just some things that I that I might not be able to compromise with. And some people take that kind of hard, but I and she was saying that because she was trying to coordinate with the next store to see when I'd be available to to unload the next store. And I was like, well, hey, I'm ahead of schedule, and so just let me know. I mean, I would say the earlier the better, but just let me know. And so she was saying, well, oh, the next store is probably talking about, well, the later the better. And it's kind of funny, but I'm like, I'm thinking to myself in my head, I'm like, well, I don't want to be doing this too late. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to be behind schedule, and I don't want to be doing this too late because I want to get the stuff off my trailer as soon as possible so I can get back to the DC and get on another trip. So I'm like, well, I'll go ahead and let me go ahead and check and see what they got me scheduled at, and we'll work around that. Well, I'm like, cause she was telling me that the other store's probably talking about doing about a 10 o'clock what is it, like a 10 o'clock unload or something like that. And I'm like, in my head, I'm like, I don't want to do I don't want to do that. But so anyways, when I said, let me go and see what my schedule's looking like here, see what we can do. I've forgotten about what time um, I got on my trip, what time that they got me set up for the next load. But because I'm here, because I'm here early, it was already scheduled for like about 10:30, 11 o'clock ish, anyways. But I wanted to take an opportunity to be able to get, uh, you know, to get, uh, uh, to get the stuff offloaded as soon as possible. So I'm looking, and I see it's about what was it? I think it was like 10:30 or something like that, 10:30 tomorrow morning. And I'm like, well, I don't want to, stay or wait till that late in the day if I don't have to. So I'm gonna tell them, I'm gonna tell about 8:30. You know, now, you know. I don't know. So some of you are probably like, now what are you doing? Now you're not supposed to be lying to people and stuff like that. Well, let me tell you something. There, look, this is what I get and what I understand. It's not that we shouldn't lie. There's a very very thin line between um, always telling the truth and always lying, or what I should say is a very very thin line between telling the truth and telling a lie, which means that on very very rare occasions, or very rare opportunities, it is permitted to either hold back information, uh, or or just, I guess what you can say is lie about it. Um, but it's in very rare situations, and I'm not going to go into all the technicalities of that. I'll probably do a whole nother video on that. But anyways, um, even though it said 10:30, I was like, well, 8:30. I was like, well, 8:30, but I can probably wait till about 9 o'clock ish or whatever. And that's when she's like, oh, you're such a wonderful truck driver, and you're so nice. We don't get very many nice truck drivers here, which is which I'm like, geez, these people. I mean, it's like these people just don't want to be bothered with somebody else, and in a way that's bad, because I'm like, well, I get it. You don't want to be bothered with people and stuff like that. But um, here's the thing: is that if you don't want to be bothered by nobody, you have to leave this earth in order to not be bothered by people. So there's going to be times where you're going to have interaction with humans, and even though you might not want to, and I get it, because sometimes I feel the same way. But there's just certain times where you just avoid um, cannot avoid human interaction. So you have to deal with it as much as possible. But she's like, well, we don't get very many drivers that are nice like you. And so what I'm saying in regards to this, to the lying and stuff, it wasn't anything that was harmful. Okay, it wasn't anything that was harmful. Everybody got a win-win out of it. Okay, for me, it came out good for me, because because I can unload early. And anytime that I can unload early, it would be it would be good for me. It's a win for the other side, because it gave them the um, it gave them the opportunity and the choice to to agree with um, with the time. it gave them a sense of it gave them a sense of um, it gave them a feeling that that I was trying to work with them, so and I was, I really was, but at the same time, I want to be able to maximize my time, and if I can maximize my time by by uh, starting early and hopefully finishing early, then it's all good. But I was looking out for the other party too, so they didn't have a definite time, but at the same time, you know, they my view was that they were trying to delay as much as possible, having to uh, get an early load. So I created an opportunity to where we would both be getting a good deal out of the whole situation, part of which is part of a business principle. And so I'm learning business principles. Sometimes in business, you may have to you may have to you may have to shift some things around. You may have to fudge some information around to try and get um, the best deal possible, while at the same time the person that you're negotiating with can feel like they've gotten a good deal out of the thing. So this is just some of the business skills that I'm trying to learn how to establish. And so I think that was pretty successful, and I think that there was nothing wrong with 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 giving false information. Now, like I said, giving false information. If you're doing it to intentionally hurt somebody, things along those lines, it's never a good idea to do that kind of lying, to where you're intentionally, deceiving somebody to swindle them out of something, and things of that nature. So, I'll do a whole nother video on that type of thing of like, is it a good idea to lie, or is it a good idea to lie? When is it okay to when is it okay to lie, or to withhold information and stuff like that? That'll be a whole different video, and it might be kind of controversial, but I'll explain that that in certain cases it is okay to do so. It's neither good or bad. It's a tool. Okay. Anyways, without going too far along in that, it's starting to rain out here. Anyways, so that was my thing. Is that it's service. If you give good service, people are going to be receptive to you, and people are going to want to do things for you and stuff like that. And I'm doing the job that I volunteered to do, and I'm doing it to the best of my ability. And that's all that can be asked of me, is to do the best that I can, and to do it with and to do it without being disgruntled about it, without having an attitude about it, which is why that there's so many there are quite a few people that are doing jobs that that they really don't like it, and they let other people know that they don't like it by by having just piss poor attitudes. So there's one thing that is one. Well, no, that's something else. But anyways, if you don't like something, then you have the power to make changes. So if you don't like the job that you're in, then go and find yourself another job. Find yourself something that might be more beneficial to you, versus just staying at a job that you don't like. If you're staying at a job that you don't like, you know, then it's time for you to start looking for something else that you that may be more appealing to you and work towards going for that. And then once you get that other job, then you can quit the current one that you have. But don't start don't start throwing all of your mess on somebody else because you don't like your situation. Change your situation if you don't like it. You know, try your best not to throw up all your negativity on somebody else or take it out on something else because you're not enjoying um, the lifestyle that you're in. Okay, so I think went through I think I went through everything that I was going to talk about, but this is um, what I was what was happening with me, what I was noticing um, here, and so today was going to be my last day on the Dollar General account because I guess they don't need a lot of the drivers anymore, a lot of the temporary drivers. But they were gonna put me back on regular 48 states today, but then I guess they changed their mind. It was like, well, we can utilize you some more, and so I, I asked, well, how long are you thinking about utilizing me? And they're like, well, we don't know just yet, but probably, probably to the end of the week. So, and I was after they had told me this morning that they were going to put me back on the 48 states. I was actually kind of relieved about it. I'm like, because I can, I'm good with leaving this job, but I did volunteer for it, so I'm trying to stick it out and keep my commitment uh, to sticking it out. But yeah, so even though they were gonna switch me today. They decided to keep me on, and so I might end up just being on here for the rest of the week, which is like I'm okay with it, I guess, But after they had told me this morning that they were gonna switch me, I I changed my mindset to like, okay, I'm about to go back up to 48 states. And so then when they said, oh, well, we'll keep you on for a little while longer, I'm like, oh. Because I already started preparing my mind to go back to what I was doing. And so now I'm just like, oh gosh, man. But now I got my mind set for sometime sometime later this week, or maybe early next week. Excuse me, as a time um, where they'll release me. So I'm gonna try and stick it through, for that time, and go get back on the ground with the 48 states. So so I'm gonna cut this off right here. But anyways, the moral of the story, boys and girls, is um, always always practice giving praise and gratitude to where it is due, because when you do that, blessings do come back to you. You don't always know how the blessings will manifest themselves to you, but they will come back to you. There's for those that are in the religious realm, there's a saying that goes around: when praises go up, blessings come down, and that definitely is true. So, you know be observant of the goodness that you see that gets done to you or by somebody else, and also when you interact with people, and you do stuff with people, do it in a wholeheartedly good fashion. Do it with the purpose of giving good service to somebody. Being a servant to somebody is not a bad thing. Is when you serve somebody. It's when you it's when you become important. When you become the servant, you become important. So don't think that that don't think that well, let me say it like this: if you want to be in a position of authority and leadership, you have to serve. That is a principle that is tried and tested all throughout the history. If you want to be I'm gonna say that if you want to be a good leader, then you have to first serve. And even while you are exalted to that leadership position, you still have to serve. So just think about that. Those who want to be first must be last. Or what was it? Uh, those who are those who are last will be first, and those who are first will be last. So those who bum rush themselves and put themselves in a position to be first, they're gonna be um, they're gonna be looked at as least important. They're gonna be last in line. But those who humble themselves and put themselves in a lowly position first, they will become the more important people, and they will be put in a high position. So that's the moral of that story. So, anyways, um, just think about it. When you're out there, whether if it's at work, well, not that many people are working these days because everything's shut down. But let this be a restart. Once everything starts opening back up, once all these businesses start opening back up, once you start going back to work, go go in with the mindset and keep it going that you are going to give the best service to everybody that you come in contact with. Everybody from your boss to the customers you got to interact with. Give the best service that you can do, and thank those who are doing good to you, for you, and for somebody else. Okay, that's all that I have to say. Now, you know, now I got I got here. Okay, and I've been doing videos so far. Um, you know, letting y'all know that people have been kind to me out here. Now I did this again, and this is what I've gotten. Don't be surprised if the next video I get a whole case of these things, or get a 55-gallon barrel drum, 55-gallon drum full of this hand sanitizer. If I start getting into that kind of blessing, guess what? Somebody's going to be blessed, because I'm going to start giving away hand sanitizer. So if I keep getting more of this now, watch out. I could be handing out hand sanitizer to you. So just look out for that. Look out for that, and pray that more good things happen for me. So yeah, be on the lookout for that. I'm saying it. I'm speaking it out there. If I start getting more casefuls, if I start getting, I don't want a 55-gallon drum full of this stuff, because there ain't nowhere that I can put it. Let alone get it up in this truck. I'm not going to be able to do that. But cases of this stuff, I can deal with. I can put this in my truck. So let's just see. If I start getting cases of this stuff, I'm gonna start giving out hand sanitizer. So be looking out for my videos, and I might end up blessing you with some of the bounty that I get. Anyways, I'm talking too much, and I'll see y'all later. And I want to say God bless you, and God damn this coronavirus.